Traveling sets my soul on fire, and if you're here watching this video, I'm gonna assume that you feel the same way. One of the main reasons that I love to travel is to eat really good food, and what better way to start your trip than to have access to free food, private bathrooms, lounges, and even showers at the airport. That's exactly what being a Priority Pass member gets you, and more. I'm just scratching the surface here. In this video, I'm gonna be going over what Priority Pass is, how you can get Priority Pass, how to use it, pro tips for beginners, and my thoughts on whether or not I think it's still worth it. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Priority Pass is a membership program that gives you access to over 1,600 airport lounges and experiences around the world. Now some of these lounges are like a VIP oasis. Think comfy seating, free snacks, and if you are abroad outside the US and you hit up one of these lounges, they usually have a whole buffet serving entire meals, not just little snacks. They have free Wi-Fi and even showers. Some of them even have playrooms for kids, so that's really helpful if you are traveling with kids, having access to these play areas, having access to snacks and just water to fill up water bottles with. Even if you're traveling solo, it is a great experience. It's a much more comfortable and private experience chilling out in the lounge before your flight boards versus sitting at the gate, where it's usually just chaos and loud and hectic. There's a ton of people, and you will have to go to a snack bar or a little convenience store in the airport and pay $7 for a water bottle, and even more to buy food and snacks. Whether you're a frequent flyer or you just take a couple trips a year, having a Priority Pass can really make this a much more enjoyable experience. How do you get Priority Pass? There are three main ways. The first way is to sign up for Priority Pass and get a membership directly through their website. They have different plans you can choose from, ranging from $99 a year to $469 a year for the Prestige Frequent Traveler plan. Now, in my opinion, I think this is still pretty expensive. Even with the $100 standard program plan, it's just $100 to have the Priority Pass membership. But every time you actually want to go to a lounge, you still have to pay $35 at the entrance, and then another $35 for each additional guest. So if you're traveling with your partner or you're traveling with your whole family, that can get really expensive. This definitely is not the most cost effective, but number two is to get your Priority Pass membership through a credit card program. This is my favorite way, and I'll get into why. Any premium travel credit cards like the Chase Sapphire Reserve or the American Express Platinum include a Priority Pass perk, so you don't have to buy a separate Priority Pass membership. If you hold the credit card and you just sign up for a membership through your credit card, you just automatically get access at no additional cost. Depending on which credit card you have, you can get unlimited access for yourself to all of the lounges around the world, plus 2 guest passes for free every single time you visit. It's important to note though that not all credit cards are created equal, and different credit cards will get you different access to different Priority Pass lounges. For example, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, Amex Platinum, and Capital One Venture X cards all get you Priority Pass Select, which gives you unlimited access to lounges for yourself and 2 guests at no extra cost. But the US Bank Altitude Reserve Visa Infinite gets you 8 complimentary visits per year for you and a guest, and then it's $35 after that. So if you do have a credit card that gives you Priority Pass access, or if you're thinking of signing up for a credit card so that you can get Priority Pass access, then just make sure you know what sort of access you will get with that card membership. I'm gonna list the credit cards on this next slide here that give you Priority Pass access, along with what kind of access they give you. I'm not going to read over all of it, so just pause the video and take a screenshot and go over it, especially if you're trying to decide which card to get. Now, the third way, and a bit more uncommon way to get access to the Priority Pass membership program, is through your employer. If you travel a lot for work, then some employers will include Priority Pass membership as part of their whole travels benefit package. So if you are a frequent business traveler, make sure to check with your company to see if they offer this perk. And if not, then maybe ask for it and see if they'll give it to you. If you're getting any value from this video at all, it would really mean a lot to me if you went ahead and hit that red subscribe button. This way you will be notified anytime I upload similar videos. How to use your Priority Pass membership. Now that you have your membership, how do you actually use it? Number one is to download the Priority Pass app right on your phone. This is by far the easiest and most accessible way to access your membership. Now, when you do sign up for a Priority Pass, whether it be directly through their website or through a credit card, they will still send you a physical card in the mail. But honestly, just having it on your phone in the app makes it so much easier. This way you don't have to carry around your actual Priority Pass. Now, with the app, you can search for lounges at your departure airport. You can see the available amenities at those lounges and even use your digital Priority Pass, which is housed right in the app. To use it, you just walk right up to the counter in the airport lounge and they will just scan your Priority Pass QR code right from your app. So you just hold your phone up, or if you have the physical card, then you take that out and you give that to them. They'll scan it. And you will also need your boarding pass. So they will always scan your Priority Pass plus your boarding pass. So have both of those things handy. And then you're all set. You just go in. Pro tips for beginners. Now, number one, I do want to mention that not every single airport has a Priority Pass lounge. So if you're a super type A planner, traveler like I am, for example, and you want to have everything mapped out and planned for when you get to the airport, and you want to plan out your meals and your snacks and your water bottle fillage accordingly, then just make sure that you look in your app before leaving for the airport to make sure that there even is a Priority Pass lounge in the airport you're flying out of. Unfortunately, they're not everywhere. I'm noticing this is more of a problem in the US than it is abroad, so just double check. Tip number two, now some, but very few lounges will require a reservation. I have been using the Priority Pass for 8+ years at this point. I've visited multiple lounges, even in one airport visit, all over the world, and I've never had to do this. So it's very rare, I think. But just in case, again, it can't hurt to just go into your app before you leave for the airport, or just check like a week or two in advance before leaving to see if there is an airport lounge you want to go to and whether or not they require a reservation. This way, if they do, you can just make the reservation right in the app, and that way you're set. You don't have to think about it or worry about it when you get there. But again, I've never had this issue, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Tip number three, lounges can definitely fill up during peak hours, so just have that in mind. And this can really vary depending on what day of the week it is and what time it is. But mornings are usually pretty busy, and then the evenings, like the evening flights, after work flights, that time period is pretty busy because people are just getting off work and flying out. So you just want to be aware that the lounges may fill up. Now, if the lounge is too full, usually you will just get put on a waiting list. This has happened to me several times, but I've never had to wait more than like 15 or 20 minutes. Usually they'll just text me in 15 minutes and then I will be able to go into the lounge, and it's really not that long of a wait. So it's worth it to put your name on the waiting list regardless, even if the lounge is too full. Tip number four, now because these lounges can get pretty full, especially around the peak times, sometimes there may not be outlets available. So if you wanted to go and do some work on your laptop, or want to charge your laptop or your phones or other electronics, outlets may not be available. Always ask someone working at the lounge if they have portable chargers. A lot of the times, actually most of the time, these lounges are equipped with portable chargers. So it can't hurt to ask if you can just get one, and they will let you borrow it, and you just charge your devices wherever you're sitting, and you don't need an outlet. Tip number five, Priority Pass lounges abroad, so outside of the US, are typically much better from my experience. And let me know in the comments below if you feel the same way or what your experience has been, what your thoughts are on this. But they're typically way more spacious, and they usually offer full-on buffets. So you can eat like an entire meal from the buffet because they just are so generous with their food. And they give you snacks, but it's not just little snacks like how they give in the US. They're much more generous abroad. My thoughts, and do I still think the Priority Pass is worth it? It's true that not all Priority Pass experiences are all rainbows and sunshine. There are plenty of Reddit horror stories on Priority Pass and how people have had really terrible experiences, ranging from they were just straight out denied access, or they just couldn't find an airport lounge, or it was just too packed and it was chaotic in there, or they'll say it just wasn't even worth it to go. It's not worth it to have the Priority Pass. As I said, I have had the Priority Pass for a little bit over 8 years now, and to be honest, in those 8 years, I've only had maybe one bad experience. It was 2022, and I was in Singapore with my family, and we were on our way back from Singapore to San Francisco, and my app said that there were 3 Priority Pass lounges in the terminal. So of course, I went to every single one of them and got denied from every single one of them, saying that we no longer accept Priority Pass members. But this was not reflected in the app, so I was pretty upset. But mind you, this was 2022 when travel was a complete animal house. Like, I have no other way of describing it. We were just coming out of the pandemic. Countries had just started opening up their borders. People had finally started traveling again. So it was so insane. I don't know if you remember, but 2022 was that year where all of the airports were overwhelmed and understaffed. The flights were overbooked and overpacked. The airline staff was like non-existent. Luggage was being lost left and right. Flights were being canceled left and right. It was just like complete chaos, complete Animal House. So traveling was absolutely wild during that time. And 2020 was also the time when Priority Pass announced that they lost access to the Plaza Premium lounges, meaning Priority Pass members could no longer use those lounges that used to be part of Priority Pass. And Plaza Premium lounges were actually a big chunk of Priority Pass lounges. So this was a big blow to Priority Pass. However, fast forward a bit and they did regain access to those Plaza Premium lounges. There are also many people who say that Priority Pass is pretty useless, especially in the US, because so many people now have access through their credit cards and it's just overcrowded. They don't really have that much food available and that you can't even get in half the time. Now, this can also be true. Yes, this definitely happens. I've had, again, some instances in the past where I've also been put on a waiting list, but I've had to only wait 15 to 20 minutes. So now for my grand conclusion and opinion. For me, Priority Pass is 150,000% still worth it. Even if I have to wait 20 minutes to get in the lounge, it's not that big of a deal to me. It's still worth it to me, even if I only have like 10 minutes to spend in the lounge before I have to start boarding my flight. Because in those 10 minutes, I can have access to a private bathroom. I can grab some snacks. I can grab some free water bottles to fill up my canteen with. And it costs absolutely nothing for me to do this. This is all just available and free to me as a Priority Pass member. The money I save is already worth it to me. Let me give you another example. I recently went on a trip to Zurich and I had a 5.5-hour layover at Washington Dulles Airport. Now, I was really dreading this layover because that is a long time and I just felt like it was a complete waste of time. But luckily, the Washington Dulles Airport had the Chase Sapphire Reserve at the Etihad Airways lounge. So that's where I chilled out for 5.5 hours. And let me tell you, we were in that lounge for 5 hours and we had 2 meals, multiple snacks, multiple waters and teas. The staff there was great. It truly was an awesome 5 hours just chilling out in that lounge, and I really had access to everything I needed. I have a short video on the entire experience, which I'll link down in the description below, so check that out after this one. But they had an entire buffet and food menu that you could just order from on your phone, and it was all free. So if I had to pay for everything out of pocket for the 5 hours I spent at this lounge, it would have easily been over maybe like over $150, maybe even more because of the amount of water I drank and the teas I had. But just think that one visit saved me $100 to $150. So if you're doing multiple trips throughout the year and you're traveling with family members or with kids or a partner or whatever, a friend, then that can really add up fast. Really, the only major con in my perspective is that you don't get into the lounge. And in that case, you just suck it up and you sit at the gate for a bit and board your flight. It is what it is, right? Or like a little bit better case scenario that you wait for 15 or 20 minutes and then get in. Otherwise, if you get in, it's just a more private and less chaotic place to chillax before you get on your flight. Especially because my credit card covers this cost, I 100% think it's worth it. To be honest, if I didn't have access to the membership through my credit card, I probably wouldn't pay for it directly through Priority Pass. I just don't think that that's a good deal or that you're getting like a good bang for your buck. So yes, I think it's worth it, but I think it's only worth it if you are getting the Priority Pass membership through a credit card. I have my membership through the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which gives you unlimited access to all lounges all over the world. Now, if you don't have a good travel credit card right now, but you want to get a good one to really maximize your travel and even get things like free flights and hotels, then that's exactly what I go over in this video right here, where I go over into detail which credit cards you can get that will also give you access to Priority Pass for free. So make sure you go ahead and check that video out next. I will catch you in the next video.